Hi everyone and welcome. In this video series, I'm going to take you through a workshop that I built to cover the fundamentals of Google's agent stack. The idea is to give you a complete picture of what the whole stack looks like, how to implement it, and how all the different pieces fit together. In this first video, we'll lay the foundations, we'll set up our cloud environment, we'll build, deploy a real-world application, and then create our very first AI agent from scratch using Google's Agent Development Kit, ADK. So let's get started with the big picture and the why behind this workshop. We're going to build a real-world application to see how this agent stack is actually being used. Imagine we're a startup with popular social event platform targeting young adults. Business is booming, but like any tech company, we're under stress to secure the next round of fundings. Our investors have made it clear that they want to see something innovative with AI and agents. Now, as a responsible engineer, we're not going to just slap some AI into our product. We want to solve a real problem. Our team does some research and identify the specific group of users. They're very busy. They don't have time to scroll through friends' posts to figure out their interests, but they still want to have social lives. It's a real pain for them to coordinate the plans. So, what if an agent took over this time-consuming task? It could investigate what your friends likes to do, see what's happening in your local area, and propose a fun plan. Wouldn't it be great to have an AI that handles all that initial coordinations? So this is a fantastic use case. So let's start building it. So here's a quick look at the prototype architecture. We want to build an agent-based system, but we cannot just throw everything into a single monolithic bundle. That would become a maintenance nightmare. Drawing from the microservices principle, we'll be using separations of concern. Each agent will have separate, specific, specialized tasks. Here are the agents we'll be building throughout the series. First, the event planning agent. This will be our starting point, which we will be building today. Second, the platform integration agent. This agent will be our bridge to the existing social platform. Third, the social profiling agent. This agent handles understanding of users' social profiles. Fourth, the orchestrator agents, which is going to be the conductor that communicates with all the other agents. To build this, we'll leverage several components within Google Cloud. I'll deploy all my agents on Cloud Run. We'll use Vertex AI for our model and Spanner for our graph database. We'll also use Artifact Registry to store the image and cloud storage. On the software side, we'll be using Google Agent Development Kit, ADK, and A2A Python libraries, and also we'll talk about model context protocol as well. All right, let's get started. Before we dive in, all the instructions for this workshop are available at the link in the description below. You will need a Google Cloud account with some credits and quotas enabled. The workshop document shows you how to claim the free credits. Okay, let's head over to the Google Cloud console. For this workshop, we'll be using the Cloud Shell editor. On the top right corner, click the terminal icon and then click Open Editor. First thing first, let's just make sure our IDE knows which project we're working on. Find the Google Cloud signing icon, click into it, select your Google Cloud project. Next, let's open a terminal within the editor. Now, run a quick authentication command to make sure you're logged in. A quick tip, if you encounter any strange errors, try to refresh your browsers and log in again. Sometimes it's going to ask you to re-authenticate. With that done, let's clone the project repository. I've created a Bootstrap repo that contains the basic code structure. Once it's cloned, you'll see the project structure, an agent folder, an InstaVi folder for our UI, and the tools folder. Now, let's run the init.shell script. It will ask you for your project ID. Copy it from your console dashboard and paste it in. The script will install dependencies and prepare everything that we need. Once it's finished, set the project ID in your terminal environment and run the script to enable all the necessary Google Cloud APIs. Next, We'll set our environment variables and permissions using the default service account for simplicity. Please don't do this in production. Let's spin up an artifact registry repository. This is where we'll store the Docker image for our agents. We'll also need an API key for Google Map platform. To create this, follow the instructions in the document by going to Credentials, create an API key, and name it exactly Map Platform API key. You're going to need it later. Then restrict the key to only allowed Map JavaScript API access. Now let's set up our graph database on Spanner. We'll create a Spanner instance, a database, and grant our service account access. Next, we'll set up a single Python virtual environment and run the script to load our graph schema into Spanner. We'll be reusing the same Python virtual environment throughout the workshop for simplicity. Once the database is ready, you can go to Spanner Studio in the console to run queries and explore the social graph data we have preloaded. The graph represents a great understanding of a friendship between a person and the relationship with other friends. You can also see a network of who are attending the same events and what their relationships are. And then you can dive into the post itself on who is mentioning who in terms of the friendship and how are they connecting with each other. Now that our database backend is set up, let's get the platform itself running. We'll extract the map API keys and set it as an environment variable. Then we'll build our platform container image and then deploy the image onto Cloud Run. You can see the running instance in the Cloud Run section of the console. Click into it and you'll find a public URL. Let's open it. Here it is, our InstaVibe platform. Everything is now in place. It's time to build our first agent. Before we write any code, let's quickly break down Google's Agent Development Kit, or ADK. Think of an agent as having, first, a brain. That's the language model itself. Instructions. That's the prompt that defines agent's purpose. The tools, the function that agent can call, like a Google search. Sub-agents. An agent can delegate tasks to other agents. Our first agent, the planner agent, will be very simple. It takes in users' requests and uses Google search to suggest a tailored social outing. Let's add the code to this agent. We define a planner agent and give it instructions. You are an AI assistant that specializes in generating creative and fun outing plans. We equipped it with Google search tool provided by ADK. Now, how do we test it? For this, ADK provides the ADK dev UI. So to launch it, run the ADK web script. In the Cloud Shell Editor toolbar, run the ADK web script. And in the Cloud Shell Editor toolbar, click the web preview icon and then change the port to 8000. A new browser tab will open. From the top left drop-down, click our Planner agent. In the chat box, let's give it a task. It will ask clarifying questions, and finally, it will generate response. In Agentic World, we use evaluation to test performances. The evaluation tab lets us to provide an input and an expected golden response. We can set a match score to see if the agent passes the test. This is incredibly useful for debugging. So we can go ahead and then select Boston, and this time we want to set the evaluation score to lower so you can see it passes the evaluation. And if we want to select the next city, and this time we want to set the score higher, and as you can see, it's going to fail our test. You can always hover over to the failed message and see a quick comparison between the response you had, the golden answer, and the response that the current agent is providing. So it looks like our evaluation doesn't really like our creative answer. That's okay. This is just a demo, but for real-time use cases, you probably want to do something about that. Okay, the agent works, but our application needs a structured data. So let's modify our agent instruction to explicitly return the response as a JSON object. Let's restart the dev UI, and now when I ask for events, the agent returns a perfectly structured JSON object. So far, we've only used dev UI. It manages the sessions, the memories for our agents. But to actually use the agent programmatically, we'll need an ADK runner. Think of a runner as what's providing the power and the memory to make an agent run. It manages the entire life cycle, including sessions and the conversation histories. To run our agents in a simple Python script, we define a runner and a call runner run sync. This output shows the full detailed JSON and all the intermediate steps. And our first agent is complete. Let's hit the Ctrl+C to stop the process. We've successfully built and tested our first agent, and we can search the internet and provide a structured blend. We have a very solid foundation to build upon. In the next video, we'll level up with our skill by tackling more advanced topic. We'll learn how to connect agent with our platform existing API using the Model Context Protocol MCP, and design more complex agent with internal multi-step workflow. Thanks for watching. I will see you in part 2.